All right, welcome back. We're continuing our author preview for the Northwest Ohio Teen Book Festival.
Just to get you up to speed, the festival is this weekend. It's a book festival focused on teens and tweens in the area. It is put on by all volunteers, and the idea is to help young people meet authors. This is happening at the Rossford Junior Senior High School. Doors open at 8:30 with programming starting at 9:30.
Okay, so all week long we've been highlighting authors, and today we're getting to know one local author, Keith Julius, who's been sitting here so patiently during this long introduction. Thank you, Keith, for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right, Keith, so first and foremost, what is your genre here for the teen readers?
I write fiction. I write fiction that's heavily based on reality. My stories are fairly tough to read sometimes, concerning things like drug addiction. I actually have a book on human trafficking. And it's hard things to read, but it's things that affect children in our community. You know,
How did you get into writing books? What was your, were you always a writer, or how did it happen?
I actually wrote my first book over 50 years ago when I was in high school. I wrote a novel. And I've been writing off and on for years, and never really had the time to pursue it as much as I wanted to with raising a family and working full-time and everything.
Sure.
And it's so hard sometimes to get in with, publishers and agents and stuff. And I actually, about 9 years ago, I decided to self-publish. So I have 5 books now that I've self-published.
Okay.
And what's your most recent one?
My most recent one, I have a series of books called the Casa Chronicles.
Okay.
And this is my most recent one, is A Decade of Mourning. This was the one I submitted to the book festival. They had to read the book and approve it, and they seemed to think it was appropriate for teens, which I feel like it is too.
So what is this particular story about?
My stories all take place in Toledo. This one begins as a young 17-year-old girl on the high-level bridge about to jump off.
Oh my goodness.
And they stop her in time. And so the whole book is delving into her past and her reflecting on her past and talking to therapists and trying to determine what got her to that point.
And the Casa Chronicles is the name of the series?
That's correct.
So explain what that means.
The Casas are court-appointed special advocates. They work through the juvenile courts to represent the children in cases of child abuse and child neglect. So my series of books focuses on families that are struggling and what the kids are going through and what the parents are going through too.
So at the event, you're going to hopefully meet new fans, new readers?
We hope so, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so are there more books coming in this series, or where are you in the author career?
Author career, I hope to continue with this. I'm working on my next book, but I'm not too far into it yet.
Is it part of the series? Or
Yes, it's part of the series.
Okay.
Wait, you said 50 years ago in high school you wrote your first novel.
Yes.
First of all, do you remember what kind of the genesis for this was? Was it coming from angst? Was it coming from?
I always read. There are always books around the house. I grew up on the classics. Jules Verne, Mark Twain, stuff like that. And I just always enjoyed reading. And so much of when I read, I could do this. I could. And everybody in my family liked to read and stuff. And I just wanted to do it.
What was your line of work then? You were saying you had more time. Are you retired?
I'm retired
the
now,
main
yes.
line of work?
I'm retired.
Okay.
2
What
years
did you
ago.
do?
I jumped around quite a bit. Most of my career, I was like a CAD/CAM programmer in industry.
More technical versus creative. And
yes.
This is like that other side of your brain.
Yeah, so this is a different type of outlet.
This is heavy stuff. This is heavy subject matter. Where do you learn, and where do you get this inspiration from?
From some of the cases and families that I see out there. I mean, this is all fiction. Nobody's going to be able to read this book and say, well, this is me that he's talking about, because I'm not. As a fiction writer, I love creating things. I love creating the people. I love creating the circumstances. It is funny, I've heard authors say this before, and it's true. Sometimes I'll have an idea where the book's going, but then the character develops in such a way, well, that character wouldn't do that. Or this wouldn't, and
they take over a little bit.
They take over. And it's interesting that that actually does happen.
And it does happen.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I used to be very plot-oriented in my books, but now I'm more character-oriented and trying to be sympathetic to the people, what they're going through. And I give multiple points of view in my stories to let, you see what everybody's going through.
And when will you be there this weekend?
Yes, I will. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you know the exact time, or have you checked your...
Be all day, or?
I'll be there all day.
All day?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have me scheduled for 2 sessions. I'm going to be doing a session talking about tough subjects, which is what I work with.
Oh, good.
And writing about what you know, which is sort of what I work with, too.
Perfect.
So.
You'll inspire some young writers out there who have that
to.
novel that they're writing in high school.
For sure. Well, Keith Julius, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Good luck to you on your book and the future ones as well.